Hello, the dude from CI here, and I was just showing off a new invention I made. I was playing around with the new redstone update, and I discovered a small bug, which pistons, when you this block right here will power this piston and keep it powered up and upon a block update. As you can see, this should be going back, but it doesn't. And tell you move this, then it'll go back, and there you go. There you go. So I use this, and I made a self-retracting mechanism, I guess, a self-resetting mechanism, and I made this really compact BUD switch. If you could make it even more compact using just these 3 blocks if you want it single use, or you can have this and have multiple uses. Basically, you have this piston update, and there you go. It flashes. I'll drag this around so you can see a little bit better. That block right there would be the output, so it's pretty simple. Okay, so I have that redstone block right there. As you can see, it flashes, meaning it's detecting an update. One thing I noticed about this thing, though, is how long the tick length is. Just based on the length of this repeater, as it hits it, it will choose how long the delay, or how long it's powered. I set up this little circuit so it'll keep track of it, so you can see it after I update. I caused a block update, and as you can see, there's two repeaters powered. This means the repeater, the tick length is 2. It appears it's 1 tick plus whatever this repeater is set to. So it's right now set to 1. 1 plus 1 equals 2. Plus 2 plus 1 equals 3, 4, and then finally 5, which is the machine. And as you can see, I'll delete this block update. 5 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there. Okay. And this means the lowest you can possibly do is 2 ticks, which I thought was pretty limited. So in case you wanted a really quick burst, so I made a slight adjustment to it, that uses just redstone rather than repeater. So you could have this little extension making it a little bit bigger, but you can have the tick rate power only a single torch. Okay. So it's either way. You can just, if you wanted to choose to do it this way, you can have it a little bit bigger, but it makes a little bit more. It's a single tick, and if you want multiple ticks, then you can just use this method. Some really cool things I noticed about this machine was it doesn't have to be right here. A block update doesn't have to be to this piston. It can be with redstone. It updates up to 4 blocks away or 2 blocks away or something. So right here, see how there's redstone is not connected or pointing at anything, right? As you can see, the machine still jumps when it powers or toggles, because I guess you can say it's like, I don't know, telekinesis, I guess, wireless. But it only happens to work with redstone, and it only works when it's like with 1 block out. But it doesn't. But the good news is it doesn't actually have to face it. So, as you can see, even this will do it, even though the redstone's just running along here. So you can, I guess, if you want to do this, you can have an invisible wall like a wall right here, and have an invisible update detector when someone messes with the redstone outside your house or something. which could be used for hidden switches. As you can see, it just right here flashes even though the redstone's not pointing anything. Which I also use this so I made an L shape so let me start over. Another thing is if you power this piston directly, it will lock the output into the on position. And I'll show you that later. So it'll lock it into the on position, which is pretty, and in fact it could be very useful for even for compacting the machine, or just simply turning off the block updates, which as now it's powered, it simply won't accept any block updates at all. If you put this little design right here, I use that telekinesis wireless thing right here, and made it so it pulses when it turns off, which I guess could be also useful. Now, the machine is one block wide, 2 blocks tall, and 5 blocks wide. But if you really don't have that much room, there's another way you can do it, where you turn it. It's wider this way, so it's not flat, but I guess it's only 3 blocks wide rather than 5. You can do it this way, which is basically turned it along the red, so it's like this. But it's 2 by 3 by 3 at this point. So it is a little bit which is bigger, but I guess if you don't have the flat room for it, you can do that too. And it works the same way. It's just bigger. Now, I will show you now how to build both versions of this machine, or all 3 versions of this machine. You take a sticky piston, place it right there, like that. Block, and like that. There you go. That's the default version. And then you just use this to choose how long it is. So 1 plus whatever this is. Then for the 1 single tick version, it's same pattern so far, but it's right here, a block, and right here, because redstone will pass through pistons, apparently. So then I put a torch right here, block, and redstone on top, and then block right here, which will carry this back to the piston. And there you go. And there's the 1 single tick version, no repeater. And finally the turned version, which is right there, or right there, like that. Block, and then right here is the thing. Then you put just a block right there, and then have the torch hanging off the edge, which will invert it back. The torch isn't really needed. If you do like this, it'll work, but it's inverted. So I just use the torch to invert it back to off, and then flash. And there you go. That's the compact BED switch. So far, smallest on YouTube.